Thank you. William Orang, Director of the Channel Sales at Alteryx, and I am with the expert, my colleague.
Hi everyone, my name is Emmanuel Lacharme. I'm a partner sales engineer at Alteryx. I'm the geeky guy who finds solutions when it comes to data and AI. And good news, William, actually for you. I built you a new assistant, an LLM assistant that will help you to analyze your sales, drive your pipeline. I spent quite a lot of time on it, and I'm very proud of it.
That seems to be amazing, Emmanuel. So does it mean that as a sales director, I will no longer have to look at those dashboards with hundreds of KPIs, right? I will find my answers more easily?
Definitely. You won't have to look into your 10,000 Tableau, Power BI. You just ask a question in natural language and the result will come up. It's kind of magical. It's a new way, to analyze your data.
And by the way, this is a real system of Alteryx in order to help salespeople to really analyze their data. So as an example, Emmanuel, I will have information about my customers and recommendations of upsell product I can position to those customers, right?
Yeah, you can ask for new products that you can position for your clients. It will analyze per row, but also aggregate data. You can basically ask whatever question you want about the data that is stored on our Salesforce.
So I'm really interested to understand now how it works, because I think that there are some magical things behind, right?
Yeah, actually. So what I've done for this one is I took, because I'm an expert and I know my thing, I took all the data that has been validated by the finance department. And I pushed all those data into the RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation, and connected it to your LLM assistant, which is OpenAI in that case, ChatGPT. So I didn't know really the question that you will ask, so I pushed every data that I can, and I think that here you will have the answer to all your questions.
I'm really impatient to test it, Emmanuel, because it seems so interesting for me. So I built this prompt based on your recommendations. As a sales leader, I would like to ask the assistant to analyze my pipeline for Q4 2025, because we are in the closing period. So I would like to have a global view of what are the opportunities of sales which are open at this moment. So for the fourth quarter of 2025, I would like to focus on some regions also, because I have so many people working around France, so Midi-Pyrénées, Limousin, and so on. And I asked the model to perform some tasks from 1 to 6. First, I want to have a sum of the open pipeline from step 1 to 4. So for those who don't know, this is the maturity of the opportunity. Stage 1 is early stage, and 4, we are really close to won the opportunity. I would like also to have a breakdown per region. What is really hard for me to build is a heat map of the business. I would like a breakdown per stage and per region also to analyze who I need to support at the end of the year in terms of salespeople, and also other information, so the breakdown per region and so on. And finally, the assistant could also help me, based on what you said, by giving me some recommendations and some actions to perform in order to have a better closing.
I'm very proud of you. It's a nice prompt, definitely.
I follow your recommendations, Emmanuel. You are the expert. So let's deep dive now into the model itself. So what you see there is the interactions we have with OpenAI, with the model, and the data behind related to the opportunities we are talking about. So I have input the prompt. So sorry, it's in French in the demo. And now let's have a look to what the model is answering. So first step, I asked the model to see the open pipeline for Q4 2025. The model told me that it's around 1,500,000 euros, something like that. Why not? It seems to be quite relevant. Why not? After that, I have asked to the model a breakdown per stages. So I see, for example, the finalized close, so which is what I really want to have at the end of the quarter. It's nearly 400K. And I have asked also the heat map. So the heat map lets me try to zoom a little bit more on this. So the heat map is a breakdown per region. So you see Alsace there, and per stages. So stage 1 up to stage 2. The color means the amount of opportunity of money for each of those stages and team. And what having a look to this heat map, I see something really surprising because I know quite well my business. So using a model where you don't know the business is quite hard. And I know that Basse Normandie, this team, should be really higher in terms of closing. So the color of this box should be blue because I know that they are close to have a lot of business close until the end of the year. So it's quite surprising, these results. And also I see that Île-de-France, so my colleague in Paris, they seem to have a lot of business there based on the color, even if this is early stage. But I know that Île-de-France normally is nearly close to 0. So I'm really wondering, Emmanuel, what's happening? Because honestly, I don't trust those data. It seems that those data are not correct, so I'm not going to use your system. Anyway.
That's sad. So what happened? The model is hallucinating. It's hallucinating because we pushed so much raw data, transactional data into the RAG that the model cannot interpret complex question and calculation when it comes to KPI. The second thing is that I pushed the data without preparing anything. There is more than 150 columns on our Salesforce. Not all of them are useful, but I pushed it anyway because I wanted my dear William to have everything. And finally, I didn't translate anything for the LLM when it comes to the business language. I just pushed the data with the technical column name without translating, the status, the labels, the vocabulary that William is using for his business every day. That's why the model is unable to work, because William has a way, as you've seen in his prompt, to ask things related to his business, and the data itself can be correlated to the question by the model and can't do the KPI calculation by itself.
And this is where we see a lot of loss of trust for many customers we are talking to. When you ask your corporate assistant to ask a question and you have a wrong answer as a business user, you will not use this technology. There is no adoption. But the good thing is that there is a solution. If we talk about data analysis, there is a solution, and this solution can be brought by Alteryx with the designer, and we can work together, the business and the expert, in order to improve the system. So, Emmanuel, how does it work?
So when it comes to here, you've got Alteryx Designer, which is a product that enables business people to do their own workflows, to work on the data, to prepare their data. You can prepare your data for a database, for reporting, or to be AI ready. Here, for example, we've got all the data that is coming from the finance and CRM, so all the opportunities. And as you can see, there is quite a lot of data. And there is also this vocabulary that maybe the LLM doesn't understand. For example, William, what is an ECUR?
It's quite complicated to explain. So it's a renewal. So it's not new business. The thing I want is new business. It's just a renewal. So ECUR, existing customer upon renewal.
What we will do is with Alteryx, we will take just the data that we want. For example, useful for our use cases. So here we've selected all the data that we want. We've also filtered the data just to keep the closed one and the closed lost. So no more.
Remove them, not.
Yeah.
Not remove.
Everything except, everything except closed lost and closed one, because it's about pipeline. And then we will make calculation and KPIs before giving the data to the LLM. And for this, So William wants to do analysis per region. So what we've done is make an first level aggregation with all the years, all the trimesters, and all the pipeline per stage for each region. And that is the actual data that we will give to the LLM. So the first approach didn't work because we wanted every use cases to be treated by one GPT and push all the data into it. It doesn't work. What is working with the business lines and the business people about what they want, what they need. And for each use case, build your own LLM and build your own data to feed this LLM with the business lines.
And what is interesting, Emmanuel, is that I can also collaborate with you. So I mean, I understand this workflow quite easily to read. So you have documentation because you can read what which tool are doing in terms of capabilities. So it's quite easy for us to work together.
Yeah, we can definitely work together on preparation, and we've got more than 300 native tools to do quite a lot of things: data preparation, machine learning, geospatial analysis, prepare the data for the reporting. But yeah, we are in 2025, so we've also got new toys. And we've got new tools now on Alteryx to help prepare your data and clean your data directly for LLM. For example, if you got a referential that is not clean enough and you want to clean it, you can use some tools that will ask an LLM to do it for you.
So now let's come back to our model. So we can imagine that for the first version, so this is validated data from the finance team, but this is raw data, transactional data. Whereas now we have input only, those prepared data, so it's a TCD, tableau croisé dynamique in French. Just even if this is all the data are not aggregated, this is the kind of data set we have input to the model. And let's have a look now to the results. Okay, so now I see that the answer for the overall pipeline open is now 1,431,000 82 cents. Okay, why not? I have other numbers for the stages, and I have another heatmap version. So color coding has changed, so it's quite interesting. But anyway, now if I have a look to the result of the heatmap, I can see that Basse Normandie, yes, the color coding seems to be close to what I have in mind. I mean, I know that Basse Normandie is performing quite well, so really progressing in the closing. So it seems to be correct for me, Emmanuel. And let's have a look at the verification. Okay, I know, I see that my colleague from Ile-de-France, there are really few business. So this is totally aligned with what I think, which is correct. But Emmanuel, now, so I start to trust your system, really. But how can I be sure now that the model is no longer hallucinating?
It's really hard for business people to know if a model is hallucinating. But thankfully, what you can do with Alteryx is actually automatize all the tests for the business people. You've seen the workflow. With the workflow, we built the data that is fed into the RAG. The indicators are already calculated. So what you can do is just, through an API into the workflow, ask the LLM the question: what is my pipeline for Basse Normandie? What is my pipeline for this and that? And it will feed the answer into the workflow. And you can compare this answer to the actual KPI you built normally with Alteryx tools. So on one side, directly the answer from the LLM, and on the other side, the KPI that you built yourself, and you can check directly, automatize the test, and check if the LLM is always right.
So now I trust your system. I think I will use it. So the solution now finally is okay, a technical solution, but it's also an organizational solution. It means that business users, they have to be involved in those projects. And we see so many companies where only the experts, even if they are really smart, work on the system to really build them for the business. And this is most of the time why companies are failing on deploying AI.
That's something we've seen actually for quite a lot of customers. When a customer is telling me, yeah, AI, we've got a task force for that. They are all experts. Yeah, wonderful. What do you got? Nothing yet, but soon we'll have something. Why does it not work? Because you've got so much back and forth between those experts who are just knowledgeable when it comes to vectorial databases, data transformation, but they don't know the question the business people want to ask. They don't know how the business want to use with LLM. And to us, the best way to do that is collaborate. Collaborate to build the data and collaborate to build actual meaning of every use case that you will push into the LLM.
And with Alteryx One, you can see that data analysts, business analysts can be involved quite easily in those projects. And they can work together with the expert team in order to bring the right data to the AI. And this is how it works. The second benefit, Emmanuel, is that once we trust the ability of the model to give good answers, there is also a benefit with Alteryx One. It's the automation, right?
Yeah, you can actually prompt at an industrial level directly on the workflows, which means, for example, you can ask the same question for 100 different accounts and have the LLM answer the same question. For example, you talked about strategy. What is the next step that you can have for this account? And ask the LLM to document all these answers into a database for each account that you can push into Salesforce or whatever.
So we are convinced that, yes, collaboration is key in those processes between the business and the experts team in order to get value from AI. So Alteryx, who we are a software vendor. We have more than 8,000 customers, more than 500,000 of users in the world, a global partner ecosystem also to support all of our customers. And what we do, finally, if you can summarize in one sentence, Emmanuel.
What we do is we are an end-to-end platform for business analysts and business people for them to transform the data, load their data, push their data to every use case that they want. The fact is that we are really known for data preparation, but what we really want to push to the business user is a total autonomy when it comes to data.
Have a look to if you know Gartner, have a look to the Gartner hype for artificial intelligence, and you will see that AI-ready data is at the top of the mind of all the customers in 2025.
And yeah, it was a fun actor studio thing that we've done together. But what you've seen is actually what we've done at Alteryx. Within 3 weeks, we built an AI for every salesman, every people in the go-to-market department in order to ask questions about use cases, about account, and it took us 3 weeks to do it because business people were involved. It's called RevIQ, and it changed my life.